The Anti-Defamation League doesn't know what anti-Semitism is?
The Anti-Defamation League is completely out of line in this case, and they are on the wrong track. They're on a witch hunt against Linda Sarsour for being a strong Palestinian Muslim woman, rather than dealing with the fact that we have white nationalism in the Senate, in the House, and in the White House.
We have, wait a second. We have white nationalism in the Senate?
White nationalism is on the rise.
Name three white nationalist senators.
What about Shaun King?
Why is he a white nationalist? In the U.S. Senate? Shaun King.
In the House.
He's an activist for Black Lives Matter.
Sorry, I might be referring.
Joining me now with reaction, conservative commentator Michelle Malkin and Code Pink's national co-director Ariel Gold. All right, Ariel, now you say that Linda Sarsour is an ally of the Jewish people. Then why would Jewish Americans like Jonathan Greenblatt, he's the head of the Anti-Defamation League, have a real problem with their statements?
It's so disgraceful that Jonathan Greenblatt is spending his time going after people who are our real allies. After the attack on Jewish cemeteries, Linda Sarsour raised over $100,000. After the Pittsburgh massacre, she raised over $200,000. Why are people, as you know, trying to drive wedges between Muslim and Jewish partnership? We have no greater ally in the Jewish community in this time where anti-Semitism is dangerously on the rise than Linda Sarsour.
So the Anti-Defamation League doesn't know what anti-Semitism is?
The Anti-Defamation League is completely out of line in this case, and they are on the wrong track. They're on a witch hunt against Linda Sarsour for being a strong Palestinian Muslim woman, rather than dealing with the fact that we have white nationalism in the Senate, in the House, and in the White House.
We have, wait a second. We have white nationalism in the Senate?
White nationalism is on the rise.
Name three white nationalist senators.
What about Shaun King?
Why is he a white nationalist? In the U.S. Senate? Shaun King.
In the House.
He's an activist for Black Lives Matter.
Sorry, I might be referring. Sorry, I might be referring to.
That's all right. I mean, it's that's. I don't know what you're getting there.
Here,
but
let me rescue her.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, Michelle. I think that, sadly, you know, when we have these very emotional appeals by people like Linda Sarsour, she's kind of an interesting figure. I mean, she's very, captivating in many ways, the way she talks. She's a leftist. She hates Trump, woman, Muslim. And so I think a lot of people kind of give her a lot of slack for that reason. And yet, if conservatives say one thing out of line, you got Media Matters, little people in their underwear in the basement writing about you. You got all these things, boycott, boycott, boycott. But someone like Linda Sarsour gets away to get Mercedes sponsoring her interviews. Shocking.
Yeah, right. Well, she's bamboozled a lot of people, and she is a master at using the Islamic technique of taqiyya, which is lying to promote the Islamic Caliphate and Sharia law. And I just want to give credit to all of the outspoken critics of Sharia out there who have been squelched by social media and who have been marginalized by the elites in the mainstream media. People like Laura Loomer, who was the one who was responsible for confronting those women's march organizers who marched into one of these Politicon conferences in LA and was the one who disrupted it to call Alyssa Milano to the carpet. And it wasn't until that happened that these women's march leaders finally acknowledged the toxic anti-Semitism that lies at the intersection of the extreme left and radical Islam. There is a type of Sharia, an American Sharia, a Silicon Valley Sharia that seeks to silence those voices. And I think that Ariel Gold in particular has a lot of gall talking about repairing relationships with people when Ariel Gold and Code Pink itself have been so much responsible for the kind of toxic anti-Semitism and hatred of Israel that we're seeing. In fact, Ariel Gold has uttered the same phrase that Mark Lamont Hill got fired for, from the river to the sea, which is not just a dog whistle. It is a blatant call. It is the most famous call for the extermination of the state of Israel.
So first of all, I meant to say Steve King in the House, who's supports white nationalists. But from the river to the sea,
talk about your
Mark
own
Lamont
racism?
Hill was clear that what he was discussing is that Palestinians deserve freedom, equality, and justice,
he didn't say that.
just as Israelis do. He did. He said that Palestinians inside Israel face over 60
why
laws
is he
of
hanging out with Farrakhan? Would you hang out with Farrakhan?
Bank face military occupation.
He calls Jews termites.
You're a liar.
Palestinians in Gaza
He's a liar.
are facing a siege so critical
This is
it's become unlivable. So
voting the way of talking doesn't make you any more. Yeah, it doesn't make you any more credible. Ariel, here's your problem.
Rights that Israelis.
Ariel, here's your problem. You got an avowed anti-Semite in Farrakhan. Do you disagree with that?
I have no support, no love for Farrakhan.
Okay, so why is the head of the Women's March posing with him, and why are the trio of fools at the Women's March showing up at his Nation of Islam conferences? Why?
Linda Sarsour shows up for Jews. Nobody showed up.
Why is she going to Farrakhan's conference? You have no answer for this, Ariel. And I'm telling you, the Fox viewers are watching this.
And Linda Sarsour
you look
has
like
been
a wonderful person.
Very clear.
If Donald Trump showed up at his conference, you'd be going crazy on him. Then don't go to his conference.
Hatred, anti-LGBTQ hatred, and anti-Semitism.
He wants to wipe Israel off the face of the map, and you got these people standing side by side with him. That is shameful. The man is he's an old guy now, but he is a shameful anti-Semite. He's been that his whole life, and he ridicules all these groups that you're in favor of. He goes after the LGBT community. He ridicules women. Farrakhan doesn't. I want to go back to Michelle because I'm very the rise of anti-Semitism. Alan Dershowitz talked about this today, Michelle, on my radio show, specifically CNN. What's that? Okay, we don't have time to go to, unfortunately. But, guys, I'm sorry. We could do this for an hour, and both of you are great guests. I didn't mean to get too hot on this, but you're both great guests to come on. It's a very important topic. Coming up, what is lurking inside the caravan at our southern border?